Hey everybody, it's McKay Mondays, and today I want to talk about Gears of War in real life.
Super cool funny videos!
Now, I'm no comparison to the characters on Gears of War. I am not nearly as big, or have nearly as large of arms, or nearly tall enough, or in any way, shape, or form am I able to represent a Gears of War character. However, we're going to just use our imaginations here and act like I do have large arms and a big piece of armor on and a really hefty, big, large boots, and we're just going to use our imaginations. Related to the characters is every single one of them seem to be extremely constipated or angry at everything in life. They're constantly dripping in sweat and grimacing and flexing their eyebrows, looking extremely angry at all times. Never is there a moment of smiling or whimsicalness. They're just constantly on the ready, on the go, and they're ready to kill everything in their sight. And the more blood they have on them, the more manly they are. That's how they roll. Now, on the game, there's a thing that you can do that's called taking cover. Now, not only is it ridiculous how hard they slam their bodies against the wall to take cover, but also, on the game, they're able to travel back and forth along this wall without any seem of having their backs pressed against the wall at all. There's no friction. They just seem to glide across the walls. And as you can see on my example, I can't glide across this wall like they can. I'm stuck and I move really slowly, and it's just not a practical or possible way of moving around quickly. Another problem related to the covering system is when you're in cover, your character's head is actually not behind the wall. It's just poking out from behind the cover that you're taking. So realistically, you'd be able to get shot in the head anyway. Now, on the game Gears of War, there's a thing called roadie run, and it's where you're crouched down and you're running a lot faster than your average walking speed on the game. As you can see, it's not really a practical way of travel. You look ridiculous, and it's just a lot harder to run crouched down like that. I can speak for myself. There's another thing on Gears of War that's called blind fire, and your guy gets behind a wall and he shoots his gun blindly around a corner. Not only is that a dangerous way to shoot a gun, but it's also ineffective in every way possible. Not to mention it just looks ridiculous. Now, the funniest thing about Gears of War is the rolling system. Now, you can roll around like crazy on Gears of War. You can just roll everywhere. It doesn't matter how many times you roll, you can just do it over and over again. And as you can see, I can't roll with my life. I mean, all of these guys are gigantic meatheads, and for some reason they're all extremely agile and are able to roll around like it's nothing. And I was having the hardest time doing it just by myself, and they're wearing this huge clunky armor that would just be so heavy, and they can just roll around like it's nothing. And I was having a hard time in just my regular clothes. Now, another thing that's hilarious about Gears of War is the gore. And I'm going to give you an example. I had my friend shoot me in the head so you could see how the gore is like in Gears of War. Here we go. Alright guys, that was my video. I hope you found it entertaining and insightful. I'll see you guys next week on Monday.
Click that subscribe button, soldier!
Thanks.